Have you ever felt that unsettling tremor beneath the surface of your life? A subtle vibration, hinting that everything you believe to be true might be built on shifting sands? It's a disquieting sensation, isn't it? Like standing on the edge of a precipice, the wind whispering warnings you can't quite decipher. Perhaps it surfaces in a relationship where the familiar comfort starts to feel stale. Or maybe it's a nagging intuition that the person you thought you knew best is harboring secrets, their eyes holding a depth you've never truly plumbed. That disquiet, that tremor, is often the prelude to a profound shift, a moment where the universe conspires to dismantle the carefully constructed edifice of your reality. We often build these edifices, brick by emotional brick, to protect ourselves from the rawness of vulnerability, from the potential for heartbreak. We curate our lives, choosing partners, careers, and even friendships that reinforce our existing beliefs, creating echo chambers where our perspectives are constantly validated. But what happens when a force enters your life that refuses to be contained by those carefully constructed walls? What happens when a person, a situation, or even a whispered secret threatens to unravel everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world around you? Imagine a man accustomed to the unwavering obedience of his environment, a man who has sculpted his world to reflect his desires. He thrives on control, on the predictability of outcomes, on the certainty that his influence can shape the very fabric of his reality. He moves through life with the quiet confidence of someone who has mastered the art of manipulation, someone who understands the subtle dance of power and persuasion. Now picture him stepping into a small, unassuming cafe in the heart of Paris, a place where the air hums with the murmur of conversations and the aroma of freshly baked bread. He expects nothing more than a brief respite, a moment of quiet contemplation before returning to the orchestrated symphony of his life. Then she appears, a young waitress, seemingly ordinary, yet possessing an enigmatic quality that draws him in. There's a spark in her eyes, a subtle defiance in her posture, a quiet strength that belies her unassuming appearance. He finds himself captivated, intrigued by the mystery that seems to radiate from her very being. He's drawn to her vulnerability, something he rarely encounters in his carefully curated world. He's not looking for love, not searching for a deep connection, but destiny, it seems, has other plans. Within 48 hours, their lives become inextricably intertwined, bound by a secret she desperately guards, a secret with the potential to shatter his carefully constructed reality. He finds himself consumed by a curiosity he can't explain, a need to understand the woman who has so unexpectedly disrupted the predictable rhythm of his life. He begins to question the foundations upon which he's built his empire, the values he's always held dear. He feels a flicker of empathy, a sensation he thought he had buried long ago. A child's whispered words become the catalyst, a subtle clue that ignites his suspicion. She deleted your voice messages. He's a man who trusts his instincts, who understands the power of information. Driven by a growing unease, he makes a choice, a single decision that will irrevocably alter the course of their lives. He unlocks her phone, unknowingly stepping into a labyrinth of deception, a world of hidden truths and unspoken desires. This act, seemingly small, sets off a chain of events that will test the limits of love, loyalty, and forgiveness. He will be forced to confront his own vulnerabilities, to examine the shadows that lurk within his own heart. He will discover that even the most carefully guarded secrets have a way of surfacing, that the truth, like water, always finds a way to break through the cracks. He will learn that power without empathy is a hollow victory, and that true connection requires a willingness to surrender control, to embrace the uncertainty of the human heart. The journey ahead is fraught with peril, but it is also filled with the promise of transformation, the possibility of finding a love that is stronger than any secret, a love that can withstand the weight of the world. Now consider how this situation mirrors the internal landscapes we often navigate. Imagine the hidden chambers within your own heart, the places where you've locked away painful memories, unfulfilled dreams, or aspects of yourself that you deem unacceptable. These hidden truths, like the secret the waitress guards, exert a silent influence on your behavior, shaping your choices and coloring your perceptions. They can manifest as self-sabotaging patterns, recurring relationship dynamics, or a persistent feeling of unease, a sense that you're not living authentically. Delving into these obscured regions necessitates a willingness to confront the stories you've told yourself, the narratives that have become ingrained in your identity. This is not an easy undertaking. It requires courage, self-compassion, and a willingness to challenge the very foundations of your self-concept. Perhaps you've convinced yourself that you're unworthy of love, that you're destined to repeat the mistakes of the past, or that you're simply not good enough to achieve your dreams. These beliefs, like insidious vines, can entangle your spirit, limiting your potential and preventing you from experiencing true joy. Exploring these internal patterns often reveals echoes of earlier experiences, particularly those from childhood. Think about the messages you received from your parents, your teachers, or your peers. Were you encouraged to express your emotions freely, or were you taught to suppress them? Were you celebrated for your individuality, or were you pressured to conform to societal expectations? These early influences can have a profound impact on your attachment style, shaping your ability to form healthy relationships and to trust others. If you experience trauma or neglect, you may have developed coping mechanisms that, while helpful in the short term, now hinder your ability to connect with others on a deeper level. Furthermore, contemplate the defense mechanisms you employ to protect yourself from vulnerability. Do you tend to withdraw when things get difficult? Do you become overly critical of yourself or others? Do you seek validation from external sources, constantly striving to please others at the expense of your own needs? These behaviors, while understandable, can create distance in your relationships and prevent you from experiencing true intimacy. Like a suit of armor, they shield you from potential pain, but they also prevent you from feeling the warmth of genuine connection. Conversely, consider the possibility that you might be projecting your own hidden truths onto others. Perhaps you accuse your partner of being dishonest because you're struggling with your own integrity. Or maybe you criticize their insecurities because you're afraid to acknowledge your own vulnerabilities. This projection, while often unconscious, can create a cycle of conflict and misunderstanding, preventing you from seeing your partner clearly and from fostering a sense of empathy. Another crucial layer is the exploration of unmet needs. What are you truly longing for in your relationships? What are you yearning to experience in your life? Perhaps you crave deeper connection, more emotional intimacy, or a greater sense of purpose. Identifying these unmet needs is the first step towards fulfilling them. It requires a willingness to be honest with yourself about your desires and to take responsibility for creating the life you truly want. Like a plant reaching for sunlight, your soul will instinctively gravitate towards that which nourishes it. Ignoring these inner longings can lead to feelings of resentment, dissatisfaction, and a sense of being unfulfilled. Now consider how this applies when you face the challenge of understanding someone whose life experiences diverge drastically from your own. Imagine, if you will, the chasm that can exist between two individuals raised in vastly different socio-economic circumstances. The person accustomed to privilege may struggle to grasp the daily grind, the constant hustle, and the limited options available to someone who has known hardship from birth. This disparity in lived experience can create a significant barrier to empathy, making it difficult to appreciate the other person's perspective or to understand their motivations. A similar divide can arise between individuals of different cultural backgrounds. Customs, traditions, and belief systems that are deeply ingrained in one culture may seem foreign, even bewildering, to someone from another. Without a concerted effort to bridge this cultural gap, Misunderstandings can easily arise, leading to conflict and resentment. A further complication surfaces when differing personality styles collide. Envision, for instance, the extrovert who thrives on social interaction, interacting with the introvert who finds solace in solitude. The extrovert may interpret the introvert's quiet demeanor as aloofness or disinterest, while the introvert may find the extrovert's exuberance overwhelming and exhausting. Unless both individuals are willing to appreciate the value of their differences, their interactions can become a source of friction and frustration. Beyond these external factors, consider the internal battles that each individual carries within them. Everyone has their own unique set of anxieties, insecurities, and past traumas that shape their behavior in subtle, yet profound ways. The person who appears confident and self-assured on the surface may be masking deep-seated fears of inadequacy. The person who seems aloof and detached may be protecting themselves from the pain of past rejections. Recognizing that everyone is fighting their own battles, often unseen, is essential for cultivating compassion and understanding. Consequently, it becomes imperative to look beyond the surface, to delve deeper into the complexities of the other person's inner world. This requires a willingness to ask questions, to listen attentively, and to resist the urge to judge or to impose your own perspectives. It also demands a certain level of humility, an acknowledgement that you don't have all the answers and that you may never fully understand another person's experience. Instead of trying to fix or to change the other person, focus on creating a safe space where they feel comfortable expressing themselves authentically. In much the same way, contemplate the impact of unspoken expectations in relationships. Often, we enter into relationships with a set of assumptions about how the other person should behave, how they should express their love, or how they should support our needs. When these expectations are not met, we may feel disappointed, resentful, or even betrayed. However, it's important to recognize that these expectations are often based on our own personal experiences and beliefs, rather than on a clear understanding of the other person's capabilities or desires. Communicating your needs and expectations clearly and respectfully is crucial for avoiding misunderstandings and for fostering a sense of mutual understanding. Given the complexities inherent in truly seeing another, let's shift our focus now toward the vital need for establishing communication channels rooted in safety, clarity, and mutual respect. Picture a tightrope walker cautiously traversing a chasm. Each step requires unwavering focus, balance, and the secure knowledge that the rope will hold. Similarly, vulnerable communication demands a safe emotional space where both parties feel secure enough to share their innermost thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment, ridicule, or retaliation. Creating this haven begins with cultivating active listening. Instead of formulating your response while the other person is speaking, truly listen with the intent to understand, not to refute. Reflect back what you've heard to ensure you've accurately grasped their message. For example, you might say, "So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're feeling overwhelmed by the demands of your job and longing for more support at home?" This demonstrates that you're paying attention and striving to understand their perspective. Furthermore, establishing clear boundaries is paramount. Boundaries are not walls designed to keep people out. Rather, they are fences that define the perimeter of your own emotional territory, protecting you from being overwhelmed or taken advantage of. Clearly communicate your limits and expectations in a respectful and assertive manner. A practical example would be stating, "I'm happy to listen and offer support, but I need to take a break after 30 minutes to recharge." This protects your energy while still offering empathy. An allied concept is the art of I statements. When expressing your feelings, frame your sentences using I to avoid blaming or accusing the other person. Instead of saying, "You always make me feel ignored," try, "I feel ignored when you're constantly on your phone during our conversations." This approach takes ownership of your emotions and invites dialogue rather than defensiveness. Another crucial element lies in mastering the skill of nonviolent communication. This involves separating observations from evaluations, identifying your feelings, connecting those feelings to your needs, and making clear requests. For instance, instead of saying, "You're so lazy," "You never help around the house," try, "I've noticed that the dishes haven't been done for 2 days. I'm feeling overwhelmed because I need help maintaining a clean living space. Would you be willing to take on the responsibility of doing the dishes every other day?" Turning to conflict resolution, embrace the principle of seeking solutions rather than assigning blame. When disagreements arise, focus on finding common ground and working together to find a mutually acceptable resolution. Consider the scenario of differing opinions on financial spending. Instead of engaging in a power struggle, try to understand each other's values and priorities regarding money. Perhaps you can create a shared budget that allocates funds for both individual needs and shared goals. Equally vital is the ability to regulate your own emotions during difficult conversations. Before engaging in a potentially heated discussion, take a moment to center yourself. Practice deep breathing, mindfulness, or any other technique that helps you calm your nervous system. If you find yourself becoming overwhelmed, take a break to regain your composure before continuing the conversation. Conversely, be mindful of your nonverbal communication. Body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions can often speak louder than words. Maintain eye contact, adopt an open posture, and speak in a calm and respectful tone. Avoid crossing your arms, rolling your eyes, or using sarcasm, as these behaviors can undermine your message and escalate the conflict. Stepping beyond the mechanics of effective communication, let's explore the essence of conscious love, a paradigm shift from transactional relationships to those grounded in authenticity, growth, and mutual liberation. Picture a vine, not strangling the tree for dominance, but gently entwining, each supporting the other's ascent towards the sun. This embodies the spirit of conscious love, interconnected yet autonomous, supportive without being suffocating. Contrast this with the often unacknowledged undercurrent of expectation that frequently taints relationships. It's the unspoken agreement that I will love you, provided you meet these conditions, a subtle form of emotional bartering that stifles genuine connection. Conscious love, however, releases these conditions, embracing the other person for who they are, flaws and all, recognizing that imperfections are integral to the human experience. It's about celebrating individuality, not demanding conformity. Moreover, consider the illusion of control that frequently undermines relationships. The desire to mold one's partner into an idealized version stems from insecurity and a fear of the unknown. Conscious love, however, trusts in the other person's capacity for growth and self-discovery, providing unwavering support while respecting their autonomy. It's about fostering an environment where both individuals can evolve into their best selves without pressure or manipulation. Another facet lies in cultivating self-awareness as a cornerstone of healthy relating. Before you can truly love another, you must first understand and accept yourself, including your vulnerabilities, your triggers, and your ingrained patterns. This self-knowledge enables you to communicate your needs clearly, to set healthy boundaries, and to respond to conflict with greater emotional maturity. It's about taking responsibility for your own emotional well-being, rather than relying on your partner to fill an inner void. In addition, let's not dismiss the significance of forgiveness in the tapestry of conscious love. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness, however, is not about condoning harmful behavior. Rather, it's about releasing yourself from the shackles of anger and bitterness, freeing yourself to move forward with greater peace and compassion. It's a process of self-healing that ultimately strengthens the bond between partners. expanding. On this, the practice of radical acceptance becomes indispensable. Life is inherently messy and unpredictable, and relationships are no exception. Accepting that challenges and setbacks are inevitable allows you to navigate difficult times with greater resilience and grace. It's about embracing the full spectrum of human experience, the joys and the sorrows, the triumphs and the failures, knowing that these experiences ultimately contribute to growth and wisdom. To further illuminate this, consider the importance of shared values and purpose. While differences can add spice to a relationship, a foundation of shared beliefs and goals provides a sense of unity and direction. This could encompass anything from spiritual beliefs to political views to lifestyle choices. When partners are aligned on fundamental values, they are better equipped to navigate challenges and to support each other's aspirations. In sharp contrast, the avoidance of difficult conversations can erode even the strongest relationships. Conscious love requires a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths, to address conflicts directly, and to engage in honest and open dialogue, even when it's painful. It's about prioritizing the long-term health of the relationship over short-term comfort, knowing that avoidance only serves to exacerbate problems in the long run. Now shifting perspective to the often overlooked realm of self-compassion, a vital ingredient for navigating the turbulent waters of intimate partnerships. Consider its profound impact on how we interpret our own perceived shortcomings and those of our significant other. Unlike self-esteem, which hinges on comparative evaluations and external validation, self-compassion offers a bedrock of unconditional acceptance, recognizing that imperfection is an intrinsic part of the human experience. This inner reservoir of kindness allows us to meet our own stumbles and those of our partners with understanding rather than harsh judgment, fostering a climate of grace within the relationship. In direct contrast to the societal emphasis on relentless self-improvement, self-compassion invites us to pause, to acknowledge our suffering, and to offer ourselves the same tenderness we would extend to a cherished friend. When we inevitably fall short of our own lofty expectations, or when our partners disappoint us, self-compassion acts as a buffer against the corrosive effects of self-criticism and resentment. Rather than spiraling into a vortex of self-blame or projecting our insecurities onto our partners, we can approach the situation with a sense of equanimity, recognizing that mistakes are opportunities for growth and learning. A further, and quite distinct, dimension is the practice of mindful awareness, which allows us to observe our thoughts and feelings without becoming entangled in them. This detached observation creates space for us to respond to situations with greater clarity and intention, rather than reacting impulsively from a place of fear or anger. When we are mindful, we are better equipped to recognize the triggers that lead to conflict and to develop strategies for managing our emotional responses in a healthy and constructive manner. For example, if you find yourself becoming easily irritated when your partner leaves their belongings scattered around the house, mindful awareness can help you identify the underlying need for order and predictability that is being threatened. On a similar note, understanding the interplay of attachment styles plays a crucial role in fostering secure and fulfilling relationships. Individuals with secure attachment styles tend to approach relationships with trust, openness, and a capacity for intimacy. However, those with anxious or avoidant attachment styles may struggle with issues of insecurity, fear of abandonment, or difficulty with emotional vulnerability. Recognizing your own attachment style and that of your partner can provide valuable insights into the dynamics of your relationship and help you to develop strategies for navigating potential challenges. As a corollary, let's consider the transformative power of shared rituals and traditions in strengthening the bonds of intimacy. These rituals, whether they are as simple as sharing a cup of coffee each morning or as elaborate as celebrating annual milestones, create a sense of connection and continuity that anchors the relationship in a shared history. They provide opportunities for partners to reaffirm their commitment to one another, to express their appreciation, and to create lasting memories that will be cherished for years to come. Conversely, neglecting the cultivation of shared interests and experiences can lead to a gradual erosion of intimacy. When partners become so engrossed in their individual pursuits that they lose touch with each other's passions and interests, they risk drifting apart. Making a conscious effort to engage in activities together, whether it's exploring new hobbies, traveling to new places, or simply spending quality time in conversation, can reignite the spark of connection and create a sense of shared adventure. Building on this, however, it's crucial to acknowledge the ebb and flow of passion within long-term relationships. The initial intensity of romantic love typically wanes over time, giving way to a deeper, more companionate form of love. This transition is not necessarily a sign that the relationship is failing. Rather, it is a natural evolution that requires a shift in expectations and a willingness to cultivate intimacy in new ways. Turning our attention away from individual acts of affection, examine how the deliberate dismantling of power imbalances forges a more equitable and sustainable partnership. Consider, for instance, a relationship where one partner consistently dictates decisions, ranging from weekend plans to long-term financial investments. This asymmetry breeds resentment and stifles the other's agency. Conversely, actively inviting shared governance, where both voices are equally valued and incorporated into decision-making, cultivates a sense of mutual respect and investment in the relationship's trajectory. To further illuminate this principle, visualize a collaborative garden. Rather than one gardener unilaterally deciding what to plant and how to tend it, both partners contribute their unique knowledge and skills, fostering a diverse and flourishing ecosystem. Perhaps one excels at planning the layout, while the other possesses a knack for nurturing delicate seedlings. By recognizing and celebrating each other's strengths, they create a more resilient and bountiful harvest. In a similar vein, investigate the crucial role of maintaining independent identities within the framework of a committed union. All too often, individuals become enmeshed, sacrificing their personal passions and pursuits in the name of togetherness. Yet, this can ultimately lead to stagnation and a sense of unfulfilled potential. Instead, supporting each other's individual growth, encouraging solo adventures, and honoring personal boundaries allows both partners to return to the relationship refreshed and invigorated, with new perspectives and experiences to share. Delving deeper, ponder the significance of cultivating a shared sense of humor and playfulness. Life's inevitable challenges can weigh heavily on a relationship, creating tension and strain. Laughter, however, serves as a powerful antidote, diffusing conflict, lightening the mood, and fostering a sense of camaraderie. A shared inside joke, a silly dance-off, or a spontaneous game can rekindle the spark of joy and remind partners of the fun they have together. Consider, furthermore, the profound impact of actively practicing gratitude. Regularly expressing appreciation for your partner's qualities, gestures, and contributions, both big and small, reinforces positive feelings and fosters a sense of being valued and cherished. A simple thank you for making dinner, a heartfelt compliment on their appearance, or a handwritten note expressing your love can go a long way in nurturing a climate of appreciation. On the other hand, neglecting to address underlying resentments can lead to a slow and insidious erosion of trust. Unresolved conflicts, unspoken hurts, and unmet needs can fester beneath the surface, creating a toxic atmosphere that poisons the relationship. Addressing these issues directly, with honesty, vulnerability, and a willingness to compromise, is essential for clearing the air and rebuilding a foundation of trust. As a final thought, recognize the transformative power of viewing your partner as a mirror, reflecting back your own strengths and weaknesses. Rather than projecting your insecurities onto them or blaming them for your own shortcomings, use the relationship as an opportunity for self-reflection and personal growth. By embracing this perspective, you can cultivate greater self-awareness, compassion, and ultimately, a deeper connection with yourself and your partner. As we navigate the labyrinthine passages of intimate relating, let's spotlight the art of navigating disparate conflict resolution styles. Picture, if you will, one partner who favors immediate, head-on confrontation, dissecting every nuance in real time, while the other instinctively withdraws, needing solitude to process before re-engaging. A collision of these approaches, without mutual understanding, can easily escalate into a destructive standoff. Instead, it necessitates a delicate dance of attunement, where the confrontational partner learns to temper their immediacy, offering the space the other requires, and the withdrawing partner commits to a timely return, preventing the issue from festering in silence. In contrast to the intuitive assumption that perfect harmony equates to a successful union, consider the enriching potential of embracing healthy friction. Think of a riverbed where the constant flow of water smooths the jagged edges of stones, creating a more refined landscape. Similarly, constructively addressing disagreements, even those that initially feel uncomfortable, can hone communication skills, deepen empathy, and forge a stronger bond. The key lies in approaching these moments not as battles to be won, but as opportunities for mutual understanding and growth. Diverging from the traditional emphasis on shared hobbies and leisure activities, explore the underappreciated value of cultivating individual sanctuaries. Imagine two artists, deeply committed to their shared life, yet each requiring a private studio to nurture their distinct creative visions. This separation, far from signifying distance, allows them to return to the relationship refreshed and inspired, with new perspectives to share. The principle extends beyond artistic pursuits, encompassing any activity that nourishes the soul and fosters a sense of personal fulfillment. Shifting focus from romantic grand gestures to the quiet power of everyday acts of service, contemplate how small, consistent actions can speak volumes. Envision one partner consistently preparing the other's morning coffee, not as an obligation, but as a tangible expression of care and consideration. These seemingly insignificant gestures, repeated over time, weave a tapestry of love and support that far outweighs the impact of occasional extravagant displays. It's the quiet language of devotion spoken through action. Moreover, let's highlight the importance of consciously challenging ingrained gender roles and societal expectations. In many cultures, traditional norms dictate how men and women should behave in relationships, often placing unequal burdens and limitations on one or both partners. Actively questioning these assumptions, openly discussing expectations, and consciously choosing to defy limiting stereotypes can create a more equitable and fulfilling partnership, where both individuals are free to express their authentic selves. As a counterbalance to the prevailing narrative of romantic idealism, acknowledge the reality that love is not always enough. Even the most deeply committed relationships can falter in the face of external stressors, such as financial hardship, chronic illness, or family conflicts. Recognizing the limitations of love alone, and proactively seeking support from therapists, counselors, or trusted friends, can provide the necessary resources to navigate these challenges and strengthen the relationship's resilience. In a departure from the conventional focus on verbal communication, contemplate the profound impact of nonverbal cues and embodied presence. A gentle touch, a knowing glance, a shared silence can often convey more than words ever could. Cultivating the ability to attune to your partner's nonverbal signals and to express your own feelings through embodied presence can deepen intimacy and foster a sense of unspoken understanding. Now venturing into the often uncharted territory of relational repair after betrayals of trust, whether major or minor, consider the pivotal role of radical transparency. This goes beyond mere honesty. It necessitates a willingness to lay bare one's inner landscape, acknowledging vulnerabilities, fears, and motivations without reservation. Think of a shattered vase meticulously pieced back together, where each fragment, even the smallest shard, is carefully placed to restore its integrity. Similarly, radical transparency involves sharing the full story, even the parts that are difficult to admit, allowing your partner to understand the context and motivations behind your actions. As a divergent point, ponder the significance of creating a shared narrative of the transgression. This involves both partners actively participating in constructing a cohesive account of what happened, acknowledging each other's perspectives, and identifying the underlying factors that contributed to the breach of trust. This collaborative storytelling process, much like co-authoring a book, allows both individuals to feel heard, validated, and understood, fostering a sense of shared ownership of the healing journey. On a related subject, consider the importance of actively seeking external counsel when navigating particularly complex relational wounds. A skilled therapist can provide a safe and neutral space for both partners to explore their emotions, communicate their needs, and develop strategies for rebuilding trust. This external guidance, akin to consulting an expert architect when renovating a damaged building, can offer valuable insights and support that might be difficult to access independently. Looking from another angle, examine the profound impact of actively demonstrating empathy and compassion, not only for your partner's pain, but also for your own. Acknowledge the hurt that has been caused, validate each other's feelings, and resist the urge to minimize or dismiss the impact of the betrayal. This mutual empathy, much like a soothing balm applied to a wound, can help to alleviate the pain and create a sense of safety and connection. Conversely, take account of the dangers of rushing the healing process. Rebuilding trust takes time, patience, and consistent effort. Pressuring your partner to forgive you before they are ready, or demanding instant reassurance when you are still grappling with feelings of insecurity, can be counterproductive and ultimately undermine the healing process. Allowing each partner to move at their own pace while offering unwavering support and understanding is crucial for fostering a sustainable recovery. In a different vein, recognize the importance of establishing clear and specific agreements about future behavior. This involves identifying the patterns and behaviors that contributed to the betrayal and collaboratively developing concrete strategies for preventing them from recurring. These agreements, akin to creating a detailed roadmap for future travel, provide a sense of direction and accountability, ensuring that both partners are committed to creating a safer and more trustworthy relationship. Finally, reflect on the transformative potential of using the experience of betrayal as an opportunity for personal growth and relational evolution. While the pain of betrayal can be devastating, it can also serve as a catalyst for deeper self-reflection, greater empathy, and a more profound understanding of the complexities of human connection. Embracing this perspective, much like transforming a scar into a symbol of resilience, can ultimately lead to a stronger, more authentic, and more fulfilling relationship. Consider for a moment the subtle art of cultivating shared purpose beyond the immediate sphere of the relationship. Imagine a couple jointly volunteering at a local animal shelter each weekend, not just for the companionship, but driven by a mutual passion for animal welfare. This dedication extends beyond their personal connection, creating a shared identity rooted in altruism. Such endeavors bolster resilience, offering a buffer against the inevitable storms that buffet every partnership. The shared commitment to something larger than themselves provides a bedrock of meaning, enriching their lives both individually and as a unit. Turning from external pursuits, reflect on the often overlooked importance of fostering intellectual intimacy. Picture two partners engaging in spirited debates about current events, philosophy, or art, each challenging the other's perspectives and expanding their horizons. This intellectual sparring, far from creating discord, can ignite a deeper connection, stimulating curiosity and fostering a sense of mutual respect for each other's minds. It's about cultivating a shared intellectual landscape where both partners feel stimulated and challenged to grow. Conversely, observe the potential pitfalls of emotional enmeshment, where boundaries become blurred and individual identities are subsumed by the relationship. Think of two vines intertwined so tightly that they strangle each other, hindering growth and vitality. To circumvent this, it's crucial to honor each other's need for space and autonomy, recognizing that individual well-being is essential for the health of the partnership. This might involve pursuing separate hobbies, maintaining friendships outside the relationship, or simply carving out time for solitude and self-reflection. In a different vein, let's highlight the significance of embracing vulnerability as a pathway to deeper intimacy. This involves consciously shedding emotional armor, sharing fears, insecurities, and past wounds with your partner. Imagine two individuals standing naked before each other, not physically, but emotionally, revealing their true selves without pretense or reservation. This level of vulnerability fosters a profound sense of trust and acceptance, allowing you to connect on a soul-to-soul level. Instead of focusing solely on resolving conflicts, consider the proactive approach of cultivating positive emotional deposits. This involves intentionally engaging in behaviors that nourish and uplift your partner, such as offering words of affirmation, performing acts of service, or simply spending quality time together. These positive deposits, much like making regular contributions to a bank account, build a reservoir of goodwill that can help to weather the inevitable challenges that arise in any relationship. Despite the emphasis on constant communication, contemplate the power of mindful silence. In our hyper-connected world, it's easy to fall into the trap of feeling obligated to fill every moment with conversation. However, sometimes the most profound connections are forged in silence. Simply being present with each other, sharing a quiet moment of contemplation or appreciation. This mindful silence allows you to tune into each other's energy, fostering a deeper sense of connection that transcends words. As a concluding thought, recognize that relational growth is a lifelong journey, not a destination. There will be periods of intense connection, followed by seasons of distance and challenge. Embracing this cyclical nature and committing to continuously learning and evolving together is essential for sustaining a vibrant and fulfilling partnership over the long haul. It's about viewing the relationship not as a static entity, but as a dynamic and ever-evolving organism, constantly adapting and growing in response to the changing seasons of life. Considering the delicate equilibrium of shared experience versus individual exploration, contemplate how cultivating separate circles of social support can enrich, rather than detract from, the core relationship. Picture a tree with deeply intertwined roots representing the partnership, but also extending branches reaching outward to gather sunlight and nutrients. These external connections, friendships, mentorships, community involvement, provide fresh perspectives, alternative outlets for emotional expression, and a safeguard against over-reliance on the partner for all social and emotional needs. This diversity of influence, far from diluting the primary bond, can actually fortify it by preventing stagnation and fostering individual growth. In juxtaposition to the conventional emphasis on constant availability, examine the restorative power of scheduled disconnection. Think of a musician who dedicates hours to practicing scales and mastering technique, but also requires periods of silence to allow their creativity to blossom. Similarly, intentionally setting aside dedicated, unplugged time free from digital devices, work obligations, and even intense couple-focused activities allows each partner to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with their inner selves. This separation, whether it's a solo hike in nature, a quiet evening spent reading, or simply an hour of undisturbed meditation, cultivates a sense of inner peace and self-sufficiency. that ultimately enhances the relationship. As an alternative lens, let's spotlight the often overlooked art of accepting unsolvable problems. Not every disagreement can be neatly resolved. Not every personality quirk can be perfectly smoothed out. Some differences are simply inherent to the individuals involved, like contrasting brushstrokes in a painting that contribute to its overall beauty. Learning to accept these unsolvable issues, to navigate them with grace and humor rather than constantly battling against them, can create a more peaceful and accepting dynamic. This entails shifting focus from changing the other person to managing your own reactions and expectations. Diverging from the traditional focus on shared achievements. Recognize the intrinsic value of celebrating individual triumphs, no matter how small. Envision one partner completing a challenging marathon, while the other wholeheartedly cheers them on from the sidelines, not feeling diminished by their partner's success, but genuinely thrilled and inspired. This active celebration of individual accomplishments fosters a sense of mutual support and encouragement, creating a climate where both partners feel empowered to pursue their dreams. It's about recognizing that each person's success contributes to the overall richness and vibrancy of the relationship. Moving beyond the realm of verbal affirmations, ponder the profound impact of demonstrating appreciation through tangible acts of thoughtfulness. Picture one partner unexpectedly cleaning the other's car, not as a routine chore, but as a spontaneous expression of care and consideration. These gestures, however small, communicate a deep level of attentiveness and a willingness to go the extra mile to make the other person's life easier and more enjoyable. It's about translating feelings of love and appreciation into concrete actions that resonate with the recipient's individual needs and preferences. In stark contrast to the prevailing narrative of effortless romance, acknowledge that sustaining a thriving relationship requires ongoing conscious effort. It's not enough to simply fall in love. You must actively choose to love each other, day after day, through both the joys and the challenges. This conscious choice involves making a commitment to prioritize the relationship, to invest time and energy in nurturing its growth, and to navigate conflicts with empathy and compassion. It's about recognizing that love is not a passive feeling, but an active practice. To conclude this exploration, consider the transformative power of embracing imperfection as a source of authenticity. Striving for an idealized, flawless relationship is a recipe for disappointment and resentment. Instead, embracing each other's flaws, accepting that mistakes will be made, and learning from those experiences together can create a more genuine and resilient bond. It's about recognizing that imperfections are not liabilities to be hidden, but unique qualities that contribute to the richness and complexity of the relationship. Now imagine extending the concept of relational growth beyond the confines of dyadic interaction, envisioning the partnership as a node within a larger network of interconnected relationships. Think of a family migrating to a new country. Their bonds deepen as they navigate unfamiliar customs together, while simultaneously reaching out to create new friendships and support systems within their adopted community. These external ties, far from diluting the core relationship, can enrich it by providing diverse perspectives, emotional support, and opportunities for shared experiences that broaden the couple's horizons. This interconnectedness fosters resilience, offering a safety net when one partner is facing challenges and preventing the relationship from becoming insular or codependent. In contradistinction to the prevailing cultural narrative that prioritizes romantic love above all else, observe the pivotal role of filial relationships in shaping individual expectations and relational patterns. Consider, as an instance, a person who witnessed their parents engaging in constant conflict and emotional manipulation. They might inadvertently replicate these patterns in their own relationships, even if they consciously desire to create a healthier dynamic. Conversely, someone who experienced secure and loving parental bonds might approach relationships with greater trust, empathy, and a capacity for intimacy. Acknowledging the influence of family dynamics can provide valuable insights into recurring relational challenges and pave the way for healing intergenerational patterns. Further, let's not underestimate the value of cultivating spiritual intimacy, a dimension that transcends the purely physical or emotional connection. This can manifest as shared religious beliefs, a commitment to ethical living, or a mutual appreciation for the beauty and wonder of the natural world. This spiritual alignment, much like a compass guiding a ship, provides a shared sense of purpose and direction, helping the couple to navigate life's inevitable storms with greater resilience and grace. It fosters a deeper sense of meaning and connection, grounding the relationship in values that extend beyond the self. Contrast this with the dangers of neglecting the physical dimension of intimacy. While emotional and intellectual connection are vital, physical touch, affection, and sexual intimacy are also essential for maintaining a healthy and vibrant relationship. Picture two dancers, perfectly synchronized in their movements, expressing a deep connection through the language of their bodies. This physical intimacy, far from being merely a recreational activity, serves as a powerful form of communication, fostering feelings of closeness, desire, and mutual pleasure. It's about honoring each other's physical needs and desires, and creating a safe and pleasurable space for exploration and connection. Furthermore, take into account the significance of actively practicing forgiveness, not only for major transgressions, but also for the small, everyday hurts that inevitably arise in any relationship. Think of a gardener diligently weeding a flower bed, removing the small irritations that, if left unchecked, can choke the life out of the plants. This ongoing practice of forgiveness, much like tending a garden, requires conscious effort, patience, and a willingness to let go of resentment and anger. It's about choosing to prioritize the relationship over the need to be right, and creating a climate of grace and understanding. Nevertheless, steering clear of the romanticized view that a strong relationship means never fighting. Recognize that disagreements can be opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. The key is to approach conflict constructively, with respect, empathy, and a willingness to compromise. Imagine two architects collaborating on a design, each with their own unique vision, but ultimately working together to create a building that is stronger and more beautiful than either could have achieved alone. This collaborative approach to conflict, much like architectural design, requires open communication, active listening, and a willingness to find creative solutions that meet both partners' needs. Finally, remember that the most profound act of love is often simply being present, fully and authentically, with your partner. In our fast-paced, distracted world, it's easy to get caught up in our own thoughts and anxieties, neglecting the person right in front of us. Practicing presence, tuning into your partner's emotions, listening attentively to their words, and offering your undivided attention can create a powerful sense of connection and validation. It's about recognizing that your presence is a gift, a tangible expression of your love and commitment. Now let's pivot our gaze to the often underestimated impact of legacy, the conscious and unconscious inheritance we bequeath to those who follow, particularly within the intimate sphere. Ponder a couple nearing their twilight years, reflecting not only on the shared joys and tribulations of their union, but also on the values, beliefs, and relational blueprints they modeled for their children and grandchildren. This legacy extends far beyond material wealth or professional achievements. It encompasses the emotional climate they fostered, the conflict resolution strategies they employed, and the very definition of love they embodied. The ripple effect of these choices can reverberate through generations, shaping the relational landscape for years to come. In sharp distinction to the notion of a pristine, untarnished past, consider the transformative power of acknowledging and integrating past relational wounds. Imagine a potter meticulously repairing a cracked vessel, not by erasing the fissure, but by skillfully incorporating it into the design, creating a piece that is both beautiful and resilient. Similarly, openly acknowledging past betrayals, mistakes, and shortcomings within the relationship, and learning from those experiences together, can foster a deeper sense of authenticity and vulnerability. This integration of the past, rather than a denial of it, allows the couple to move forward with greater wisdom and compassion, creating more solid foundation for the future. To further illuminate this idea, let's explore the concept of shared rituals of remembrance. These can be as simple as lighting a candle on the anniversary of a significant event, revisiting a cherished location, or sharing stories about loved ones who have passed on. These rituals, much like creating a family album, serve to honor the past, celebrate the present, and connect the couple to a larger narrative that transcends their individual lives. They provide a sense of continuity and belonging, reminding them of the shared history that binds them together. On the other hand, avoid the temptation to cling rigidly to tradition, especially if those traditions are no longer serving the relationship. Envision a couple meticulously recreating their wedding day every year, complete with the same vows, attire, and music, even though their lives and values have evolved significantly since then. This rigid adherence to the past can stifle growth and prevent the couple from embracing new possibilities. Instead, it's crucial to adapt traditions to reflect the changing needs and desires of the relationship, allowing them to evolve and remain relevant over time. As a separate point, consider the importance of actively cultivating a sense of generativity, a desire to contribute something meaningful to the world beyond the confines of the relationship. This can manifest as mentoring young people, volunteering in the community, or pursuing creative projects that benefit others. This sense of purpose, much like planting seeds that will blossom in the future, provides a sense of fulfillment and meaning that extends beyond the self, enriching both individual lives and the relationship as a whole. Even more so, be aware of the potential for inherited relational scripts, unconscious patterns of behavior learned from previous generations. If, for instance, a person grew up witnessing their parents constantly sacrificing their own needs for the sake of the relationship, they might inadvertently replicate this pattern in their own life, even if it leads to resentment and burnout. Recognizing these inherited scripts and consciously choosing to rewrite them is essential for creating healthier and more fulfilling relationships. Finally, think about the enduring power of love as a force for healing and transformation. Even in the face of significant challenges, betrayal, or loss, the capacity for love remains a constant source of hope and resilience. By choosing to approach each other with compassion, understanding, and a willingness to forgive, couples can overcome even the most difficult obstacles and create a relationship that is not only stronger but also more meaningful and fulfilling than ever before. It is a conscious commitment to growth, understanding that love itself is an evolving art form. Now contemplate the less traveled path of embracing relational ambivalence, acknowledging that even within deeply cherished connections, conflicting emotions can simultaneously coexist. Picture a seasoned sailor navigating turbulent waters. They may harbor both trepidation at the storm's intensity and exhilaration at the challenge it presents. Similarly, in long-term partnerships, moments of profound love and connection can intertwine with feelings of frustration, resentment, or even boredom. Denying these conflicting emotions only serves to drive them underground, where they can fester and erode the foundation of the relationship. Instead, learning to acknowledge and accept this ambivalence, to create a safe space for both positive and negative feelings to coexist, can foster a more honest and authentic dynamic. In a similar vein, muse on the significance of deconstructing the myth of the soulmate, the idea that there exists one perfect person destined to complete us. This romanticized notion can set unrealistic expectations, leading to disappointment and a constant search for someone better. Instead, consider the more empowering perspective that a fulfilling relationship is not about finding the right person, but about becoming the right person, about cultivating the qualities of love, compassion, and understanding within yourself. This shift in focus from external validation to internal growth allows you to approach relationships with greater self-awareness and a willingness to actively co-create a fulfilling partnership. Turning our attention to the often overlooked realm of intergenerational dialogue, weigh the benefits of explicitly discussing family histories and relational patterns with subsequent generations. Imagine a group of elders gathered around a fire, sharing stories of their own triumphs and tribulations in love, offering guidance and wisdom to younger family members embarking on their own relational journeys. These intergenerational conversations, much like passing down treasured heirlooms, can provide valuable insights into recurring family dynamics, helping younger generations to avoid repeating past mistakes and to build healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Then again, avoid the pitfall of projecting your own relational experiences onto others, assuming that what worked for you will automatically work for them. Envision an experienced hiker offering unsolicited advice to a novice climber, failing to recognize that their skills, strengths, and goals are entirely different. Similarly, in relationships, it's crucial to respect each other's individual journeys, to avoid imposing your own beliefs and expectations, and to allow each partner to navigate their own path towards fulfillment. As a separate notion, reflect on the transformative potential of actively cultivating a sense of shared purpose that extends beyond the immediate needs of the relationship. This could involve working together on a community project, advocating for a cause you both believe in, or simply pursuing a shared hobby that brings joy and meaning to your lives. This sense of shared purpose, much like a ship sailing towards a distant horizon, provides a sense of direction and motivation, helping the couple to navigate life's challenges with greater resilience and unity. Notwithstanding the common belief that constant communication is the key to a successful relationship, recognize the value of cultivating mindful presence, of simply being fully present with your partner in the moment, without the need for constant conversation or external stimulation. Picture two individuals sitting side by side, watching the sunset, each lost in their own thoughts, yet connected by a shared sense of peace and tranquility. This mindful presence, much like a still pond reflecting the surrounding landscape, allows you to tune into each other's energy, fostering a deeper sense of connection that transcends words. Lastly, acknowledge that relational growth is a lifelong process, requiring ongoing effort, self-reflection, and a willingness to adapt to changing circumstances. There will be times when the relationship feels effortless and joyful, and times when it feels challenging and demanding. Embracing this cyclical nature and committing to continuously learning and growing together is essential for sustaining a vibrant and fulfilling partnership over the long haul. It is a journey, not a destination. Now, reflecting beyond the immediate comfort zone of established patterns, consider how intentionally disrupting relational routines, introducing novelty and spontaneity can reignite passion and foster a sense of rediscovery. Picture a couple who habitually dine at the same restaurant every Saturday night, venturing instead on an impromptu culinary adventure to a cuisine entirely foreign to them. This disruption of habit, akin to a refreshing rain shower after a prolonged drought, can awaken dormant senses and create shared memories that strengthen their bond. It's about consciously injecting elements of surprise and adventure into the everyday fabric of the relationship, keeping it vibrant and alive. In countervail to the common inclination to focus solely on addressing areas of deficiency, weigh the profound benefits of amplifying existing strengths and celebrating successes, both large and small. Think of a master gardener who, rather than obsessing over eradicating every weed, dedicates their energy to nurturing the most promising blooms, allowing them to flourish and radiate their beauty. Similarly, in relationships, consciously acknowledging and appreciating your partner's positive qualities and celebrating their accomplishments can create a climate of affirmation and encouragement, fostering a sense of mutual admiration and respect. It's about cultivating a garden of appreciation, where both partners feel seen, valued, and supported in their individual growth. Moving past the tendency to view disagreements as threats to relational harmony, examine the power of reframing conflict as an opportunity for deeper understanding and connection. Imagine two musicians improvising together, each contributing their unique voice to create a harmonious whole. While their individual styles might occasionally clash, their willingness to listen and adapt to each other's rhythms ultimately leads to a richer and more nuanced musical experience. Likewise, in relationships, approaching conflict with curiosity and a willingness to learn from your partner's perspective can lead to greater empathy, stronger communication skills, and a more profound understanding of each other's needs and desires. Then again, avoid the trap of assuming that longevity automatically equates to relational health. A long-standing partnership does not inherently imply a fulfilling one. Rather, it is the ongoing effort to nurture connection, communicate effectively, and adapt to changing circumstances that truly determines the vitality of the relationship. Think of an ancient tree still standing tall after centuries, but only because it has continuously adapted to the forces of nature, weathering storms and sending down deeper roots to sustain its growth. Similarly, in relationships, it's crucial to remain vigilant, to continuously assess the health of the partnership, and to proactively address any challenges that might arise. As a separate matter, consider the significance of actively cultivating a sense of shared values and beliefs, not just in the abstract, but in concrete actions and lifestyle choices. This could involve volunteering together for a cause you both believe in, making conscious efforts to live sustainably, or simply prioritizing ethical and compassionate behavior in your daily lives. These shared values, much like a compass guiding a ship, provide a sense of direction and purpose, helping the couple to navigate life's complexities with greater clarity and integrity. Even so, beware of the temptation to impose your own values and beliefs onto your partner, expecting them to conform to your worldview. True respect involves acknowledging and honoring each other's differences, even when those differences challenge your own beliefs. Picture two artists working side by side, each creating their own unique masterpiece, inspired by their own individual vision. Similarly, in relationships, it's crucial to allow each partner to express their authentic selves, even if their perspectives differ from your own. Finally, remember that the most profound expression of love is often simply the willingness to be present, to listen deeply, and to offer unwavering support, even in the face of adversity. It's about creating a safe and nurturing space where your partner feels seen, heard, and valued for who they truly are, without judgment or expectation. It's about showing up day after day with an open heart and a genuine desire to connect, to understand, and to support their journey through life. The quiet, consistent presence is often the most meaningful gesture of all. Envision now the dynamic of crafting a shared life narrative, intentionally weaving together individual stories into a cohesive tapestry. This goes beyond merely recounting shared experiences. It necessitates open dialogue regarding formative memories, pivotal turning points, and even divergent interpretations of past events. Consider a couple, one raised in a bustling urban environment, the other in tranquil rural landscapes. Unearthing the nuanced ways their upbringing shaped their values, fears, and aspirations can foster a deeper understanding and appreciation for each other's unique perspectives. It's about collaboratively constructing a shared history that acknowledges and celebrates the richness of their individual journeys. By the same token, one must consider the subtle yet pervasive influence of societal scripts on relational expectations. These culturally ingrained narratives often dictate how love should look, how partners should behave, and what constitutes a successful relationship. Disentangling these societal constructs and consciously choosing to define your relationship on your own terms can liberate you from limiting expectations and pave the way for a more authentic and fulfilling connection. Picture a couple defying traditional gender roles, sharing household responsibilities and career aspirations in a way that aligns with their individual strengths and passions, rather than conforming to societal norms. Expanding on this notion, ruminate on the transformative potential of practicing radical self-responsibility within the relationship. This entails taking ownership of your own emotions, actions, and reactions, rather than blaming your partner for your unhappiness or shortcomings. Imagine one partner consistently reacting with defensiveness when criticized, automatically deflecting blame onto the other. Conversely, practicing self-responsibility would involve acknowledging their own role in the situation, taking ownership of their behavior, and committing to making amends. Nonetheless, one should be conscious of the subtle distinction between self-responsibility and self-blame. While taking ownership of your actions is essential, dwelling on past mistakes and engaging in relentless self-criticism can be counterproductive and damaging to your self-esteem. Rather, self-responsibility involves acknowledging your shortcomings with compassion, learning from your experiences, and moving forward with a renewed commitment to growth and well-being. Additionally, appreciate the often unsung value of cultivating a shared sense of humor, a light-hearted approach to navigating life's inevitable challenges. A well-placed joke, a silly impersonation, or a shared appreciation for the absurd can diffuse tension, lighten the mood, and foster a sense of camaraderie. It's about finding joy in the everyday moments and creating a shared language of laughter that strengthens your bond. However, be cautious of using humor as a means of avoidance or deflection, masking underlying pain or discomfort with sarcasm or witty remarks. Instead, genuine humor stems from a place of authenticity and vulnerability, allowing you to connect with your partner on a deeper level. Finally, bear in mind that the most meaningful act of love is often simply bearing witness, offering your unwavering presence and support as your partner navigates the complexities of life. It's about creating a safe and non-judgmental space where they feel seen, heard, and valued for who they truly are, without the need to fix, advise, or control. It's about showing up day after day with an open heart and a genuine desire to connect, to understand, and to support their journey. What if alongside this shared journey, each individual consciously protects and cultivates an inner sanctum, a space not of secrecy, but of sovereign self-reflection? Imagine a seasoned novelist, deeply entwined with their spouse, yet fiercely protective of their solitary writing hours, not to exclude their partner, but to nurture the wellspring of creativity that ultimately enriches their shared life. This deliberate safeguarding of inner space permits a replenishing of individual resources, ensuring neither partner becomes emotionally depleted or overly reliant on the other for their sense of self. It's the understanding that individual wholeness, paradoxically, strengthens the connective tissue of the relationship. Conversely, avoid the assumption that complete transparency necessitates divulging every fleeting thought or emotion. While honesty is paramount, oversharing can overwhelm and even burden your partner, transforming them into a repository for unprocessed feelings. Picture a seasoned therapist, skilled at active listening and empathy, yet mindful of maintaining professional boundaries, ensuring they don't offload their emotional baggage onto their clients. Intimacy necessitates discernment, a conscious filtering of what is shared, prioritizing vulnerability and authenticity over indiscriminate dumping of raw emotion. Examining this further, consider the value of periodically reassessing and renegotiating relational agreements. Like a mariner charting a course across ever-shifting seas, Couples must adapt their expectations and commitments to align with evolving needs and circumstances. A couple who initially agreed upon a rigid division of labor might find, years later, that those arrangements no longer serve them. Open communication, a willingness to compromise, and a shared commitment to fairness are essential for navigating these renegotiations effectively. It's about viewing relational agreements not as immutable contracts, but as living documents that can be amended to reflect the changing landscape of their lives. Yet, in doing so, sidestep the temptation to constantly compare your relationship to idealized portrayals in popular media. Social platforms often present curated versions of reality, showcasing flawless images and highlighting only the most positive aspects of relationships. This constant exposure to unrealistic standards can breed dissatisfaction and insecurity, leading you to question the validity of your own experiences. Instead, cultivate a discerning eye, recognizing that every relationship has its unique strengths and challenges, and that true connection lies not in achieving perfection, but in embracing authenticity. Adding another dimension, reflect on the importance of cultivating a shared sense of awe and wonder. This might involve stargazing on a clear night, attending a captivating concert, or simply marveling at the beauty of nature together. These shared experiences of awe can expand your perspective, foster a sense of interconnectedness, and remind you of the profound mystery and beauty that exists beyond the confines of your daily lives. It's about cultivating a shared appreciation for the extraordinary, a reminder of the magic that exists in the world around you. To that end, guard against allowing the pursuit of personal ambitions to eclipse the needs of the relationship. Ambition, while commendable, can become a destructive force if it consumes all available time and energy, leaving little room for connection and intimacy. Like a skilled tightrope walker maintaining perfect equilibrium, strive to balance individual aspirations with the demands of the partnership, ensuring that neither aspect is neglected or sacrificed. Above all, remember that a thriving relationship is not a static achievement, but an ongoing process of cultivation and care. It requires conscious effort, vulnerability, and a willingness to embrace the full spectrum of human experience, both the joys and the sorrows. Ponder, if you will, the subtle yet impactful art of attuning to your partner's ever-shifting emotional weather patterns. One week, they might radiate sunshine, overflowing with optimism and energy. The next, a somber cloud descends, casting a shadow of melancholy. Rather than reacting defensively or attempting to fix their mood, consider adopting the role of a compassionate observer, offering a steady presence and unwavering empathy, much like a lighthouse guiding a ship safely through a storm. This attuned responsiveness requires a keen awareness of nonverbal cues, a willingness to listen without judgment, and the ability to offer support without imposing solutions. It's about creating a safe harbor where your partner feels seen, validated, and accepted, regardless of their emotional state. However, it's vital to distinguish between empathy and emotional absorption. While attuning to your partner's emotions is essential, becoming a sponge for their negativity can lead to burnout and resentment. Envision a skilled caregiver offering unwavering support to a chronically ill patient, yet maintaining healthy boundaries to protect their own well-being. Similarly, in relationships, it's crucial to practice self-care, to replenish your own emotional reserves, and to avoid becoming so enmeshed in your partner's struggles that you lose sight of your own needs. It's about offering support without sacrificing your own well-being. Expanding on this, reflect upon the transformative power of cultivating shared rituals that celebrate the cycle of life, death, and renewal. These rituals, unlike rigid traditions, are fluid and adaptable, reflecting the changing seasons of your relationship and the broader world around you. A couple might plant a tree each year to commemorate their anniversary, symbolizing growth and resilience. Or they might engage in a yearly act of service, honoring the interconnectedness of all living beings. These rituals, much like ancient harvest festivals, serve to connect you to something larger than yourselves, fostering a sense of meaning and purpose that transcends the everyday. Yet sidestep the temptation to impose your own beliefs and values onto your partner, particularly when it comes to matters of spirituality or existential meaning. True respect involves honoring each other's individual journeys, even when those journeys lead you down different paths. Picture two pilgrims embarking on separate quests for enlightenment, each following their own unique route, yet united by a shared desire for truth and understanding. Similarly, in relationships, it's crucial to allow each partner to explore their own beliefs and values without judgment or coercion. As a final point, consider the enduring power of gratitude, a conscious and deliberate appreciation for the gifts, both large and small, that your partner brings into your life. This gratitude extends beyond the obvious expressions of love and affection, encompassing the subtle acts of kindness, the unwavering support, and the unique qualities that make your partner who they are. It's about cultivating an attitude of appreciation, a constant awareness of the good things in your life, and a willingness to express your gratitude openly and sincerely. This gratitude, much like sunshine nourishing the garden, allows your relationship to flourish and thrive. Reflecting on this journey so far, we begin to perceive the emerging form, akin to watching a sculptor slowly reveal a figure hidden within a block of marble. The individual chisels, each exploration of vulnerability, communication, and self-awareness start to coalesce, suggesting a more profound understanding of how we connect, how we heal, and how we love. It's not merely about acquiring a collection of techniques or strategies. Rather, it's about cultivating a deeper sensitivity to the intricate dance of human relationship. The ideas we've traversed share a common current, much like tributaries converging to form a mighty river. This current flows towards the understanding that authentic connection isn't a static state to be achieved, but an ongoing process of co-creation, a continuous negotiation between individual needs and shared desires. It calls for a delicate balance, the courage to be vulnerable, the wisdom to set boundaries, and the compassion to navigate the inevitable storms that arise along the way. In light of these insights, the path forward becomes clearer, as if a dense fog has begun to dissipate, revealing the contours of the landscape ahead. We start to see that true intimacy isn't about erasing differences or achieving perfect harmony. It's about embracing the full spectrum of human experience, the joys and the sorrows, the triumphs and the failures, and finding ways to support each other through it all. It necessitates a shift in perspective, from viewing relationships as transactions to viewing them as opportunities for mutual growth and transformation. Drawing these strands together, we see that the art of loving well isn't a talent bestowed upon a fortunate few. It's a skill that can be cultivated through conscious effort, self-reflection, and a willingness to learn from our mistakes. It's about shedding the masks we wear to protect ourselves, revealing our authentic selves to our partners, and creating a safe space for them to do the same. It's about recognizing that true connection requires courage, vulnerability, and a deep commitment to honesty. As we pivot towards the final reflection, consider the cumulative effect of the ideas we have explored. It's akin to tending a garden over time. Each act of planting, watering, and weeding contributes to the overall health and beauty of the landscape. Similarly, each act of kindness, compassion, and understanding strengthens the foundation of our relationships, creating a more resilient and fulfilling connection. The journey is continuous, and the final takeaway is the beginning of the next step. Perhaps, as the narrative concludes, what lingers most is not a definitive answer, but a quiet recognition of the ongoing question that is love itself. It's a question posed not in desperation, but in gentle curiosity, a willingness to perpetually explore the ever-shifting landscapes of the heart, both our own and those we choose to share our lives with. The pursuit of a perfect equation, a guaranteed formula for relational bliss, dissolves into the understanding that the true richness lies in the imperfections, in the messy, unpredictable dance of human connection. The essence, it seems, is not to arrive at a fixed destination, but to embrace the continuous journey, to shed the illusion of control and surrender to the unpredictable currents of shared existence, to relinquish the pursuit of an idealized other and instead cultivate the capacity to see and cherish the imperfect beauty of the person who stands before you, flaws and all. It's about recognizing that true intimacy is not the absence of challenge, but the courage to navigate those challenges together with honesty, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to mutual growth. Consider it this way: we are each, in essence, cartographers of the heart, constantly charting new territories, mapping unexplored landscapes of emotion, and seeking to understand the complex terrain of human connection. The maps we create are never complete, always subject to revision as we encounter new experiences and gain deeper insights. But it is in the act of mapping, in the continuous exploration and reevaluation, that we truly come to understand ourselves and the intricate tapestry of relationships that shape our lives. The true practice begins now, not with grand pronouncements or sweeping resolutions, but with the quiet, persistent intention to cultivate a more compassionate, authentic, and loving presence in every interaction. It is an invitation to live more deeply, to connect more authentically, and to embrace the beautiful, messy, and ever-evolving journey of the heart.